Hey there. If you're already in the banking world and you're wondering what's next, you're going to want to listen to this. We're about to unpack a massive opportunity from the State Bank of India, their 2026 recruitment for circle-based officers. Let's get right into it. So, first things first, let's talk about who we're dealing with here. This is the State Bank of India we're talking about. I mean, this isn't just some bank on the corner. It's a total financial powerhouse. In fact, it's ranked as the fifth strongest brand in the entire country. So yeah, getting a job here isn't just a job, it's a huge deal. You're basically becoming part of a legacy. And the opportunity itself, it's absolutely massive. Get this. They're looking to fill 2,050 spots for circle-based officers. 2,050. This isn't some tiny hiring notice. It's a major, major recruitment drive. That means there's a serious chance for a whole lot of qualified folks to get in and join the SBI family. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down for you. First, we'll look at what this job is all about. Then, we'll get into who's eligible, the really important stuff. After that, we'll cover the four-step selection process. I'll walk you through how to apply, and we'll finish up by looking at what life is actually like as a CBO. All right, let's jump right into Section 1. It's a huge opportunity with SBI. But before we even think about applying, we've got to understand what this role is really about. So, what in the world is a circle-based officer, or CBO? Well, the clue is right there in the name. Circle. It literally means you'll be posted in one specific geographical area. And here's the kicker. You can't just ask for a transfer to another circle. You're pretty much there until you get a big promotion to a senior grade or you've put in 12 years. That's a really, really important thing to keep in mind. Okay, now for Section 2. Let's check if you're eligible. We know what the job is, so now the big question is, do you have what it takes? Let's see who SBI is looking for. It basically boils down to three main things. You've got your academic qualifications, your age, and, this is a super important one for this role, your work experience. Let's take a look at each one. First up, age. The cutoff date is December 31st, 2025. By that date, you need to be between 21 and 30 years old. To be super specific, that means your birthday has to fall between January 1st, 1996 and December 31st, 2004. Go ahead and double-check those dates for sure. Now, of course, there are some age relaxations for different categories. If you're from an SC or ST category, you get an extra 5 years. For OBC, it's 3 years. And for persons with benchmark disabilities, the relaxation is even more significant, anywhere from 10 to 15 years, depending on your specific category. So definitely look into that. Okay, and here's the big one, experience. Let me be clear, this is not a job for freshers. You absolutely must have at least 2 years of experience. And not just any experience. It has to be as an officer in a scheduled commercial bank or a regional rural bank. This is not negotiable, it's a major filter for them. So, how are you doing so far? Ticking all the boxes? If the answer is yes, then you're probably wondering, okay, what's next? How do they actually pick someone? Let's dive into the selection process. And that brings us to Section 3. I'm calling it the selection gauntlet because, well, it's a pretty thorough process. It has multiple stages, all designed to find the absolute best people for the job. Let's see what you'll be up against. The whole thing happens in 4 main phases. First, there's an online exam. Pass that, and you move on to a screening phase where they check all your documents. If that looks good, you'll get called for an interview. And the very last step? A local language test, just to make sure you can communicate well in the circle you've applied for. Let's zoom in on that first hurdle, the online test. It's an objective test, 2 hours long, for a total of 120 marks. But look closely here. Each section has its own timer. You get 30 minutes for English, 40 for banking knowledge, 30 for general awareness, and 20 for computer aptitude. This means you can't just spend all your time on one section. Your time management has to be on point. So after all that, how do they decide who makes the final cut? It all comes down to weighting. That online test we just talked about, that's a whopping 75% of your final score. The interview is the other 25%. So you can see, doing really, really well on that written exam is absolutely crucial. All right, let's move on to the practical stuff in Section 4, your application guide. You know you're eligible, you know what the selection process looks like. Now let's actually get you applied, the right way and on time. Okay, you're going to want to mark these dates on your calendar. The application window is pretty tight. It opens January 29th, 2026, and it's all over by February 18th. My advice? Don't wait till the last minute. After that, the online test is tentatively planned for sometime in March 2026. What about the fee? Well, if you're in the general EWS or OBC category, it's 750 rupees. But if you're in the SC, ST, or PWBD categories, good news, there's no fee for you. Pro tip: before you even start the application, get all your documents ready to go. You're going to need to scan and upload a whole bunch of stuff. We're talking photo, signature, thumb impression, your ID, your resume, education and experience certificates, even your Form 16. Seriously, having all this ready beforehand will save you a massive headache. Okay, pay attention to this next part because a lot of people mess this up. The handwritten declaration. You have to write out this exact text, word for word, and it has to be in your handwriting with black ink on plain white paper. Don't type it, don't use all caps, just write it out exactly as you see it here. And now for the best part, Section 5, Life After Selection. Imagine you've aced the test, nailed the interview, and you've got that offer. What's next? What's life actually like as an SBI CBO? First off, let's talk money. The starting basic pay is nearly 48,500 rupees, which is already pretty good. But remember, that's just the basic pay. You also get all the allowances on top: DA, HRA, medical benefits, all the usual perks. It adds up to a really competitive package. So, what does your career path look like? Well, you'll start with a 6-month probation. During that time, they're basically making sure you're a good fit before confirming you as a junior management grade Scale I officer. After that, you're on the standard promotion track for officers. And just to remind you of that key point, you'll be growing your career in that one circle for quite a while. So there you have it. We've gone through the role, who can apply, the tough selection process, and the great career waiting on the other side. With more than 2,000 jobs up for grabs at one of the country's top institutions, you really have to ask yourself, is this the big move you've been waiting for?